What's going on, boys? So this video is going to be a little bit different than the normal weekly recaps and stuff like that. This video, I decided I should probably make this just because it is coming near the end of December. It's the 20th currently. And I did want to make a video going into 2026 talking about the shit that I'm doing like right now to help me for 2026. The shit I'm doing right now is like insane, bro. We got the whole Discord's fucking cooking right now. But I wanted to make this video pretty much go over the stuff that I'm doing. This is going to talk about my whole investment portfolio, where I'm moving money coming into 2026, what I'm doing right now, the backtesting shit that I'm doing, the results that I'm looking for so I know how to use it coming into 2026, the slight rule changes I'm changing in the strategy. I wouldn't even say rule changes. I don't even know how I'd word it. It's just some small things to pretty much make us our risk reward better, our win rate better, stuff like that coming into 2026. I'm going to talk about my plans for YouTube coming into 2026 and pretty much stuff that I'm going to be running in the background for 2026, the funded accounts, all of that stuff. This video is pretty much, I'm just kind of making this video for a digital footprint so I can kind of look back behind on this in December in 2025. But yeah, I felt like it was very useful to make this video. Definitely going to show you guys my thinking behind on some of the stuff that I'm doing right now, especially the back testing that we're doing for this LSD model. LSD is very, very small. You know, we really only have 3, you could call them big guys that's talking about it. These guys have, 14,000 subscribers. I think that's the top one, but I'd say 75% of them is the same subscribers that's subscribed across all of them. And we're all in a Discord, and we all kind of talk to each other. And I truly think that us talking to each other, we're going to be the ones that's actually going to bring this model up. I think we're going to be the ones that's going to make all these YouTube videos. I think we're going to be the ones that are going to be teaching at least the generation below this, because trading's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This model makes 100% perfect sense compared to a lot of other things out there. I think to be very useful. So right now, I'm just kind of setting myself up as best as I possibly can to get funded 2026. To make a lot of content 2026. Right now, just nonstop back testing consecutive years of data so we can get the best possible strategy, not strategy, but just to refine our strategy the best we possibly can to allow ourselves to make the most amount of money coming into 2026. My mentor ended this year, I believe, in 80% in profit, which is like insane. But even he said himself, like, next year we're gonna cook. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole topic of this video. I'm just gonna pretty much yap to you guys. I'm gonna show you guys some of my stuff that I'm working on right now. But yeah, again, the first thing really is, I think I talked about where I'm moving my money for 2026. So that's what we're gonna go over first. Yeah, the first thing is, where am I moving my money coming into 2026? So I could go in detail about all the crypto stuff, but I'm definitely pro crypto, right? Very pro crypto for the last couple of years. I invested very, very, very cheap prices. Again, I don't want to go into too much depth because I could talk about the whole crypto space for an hour if I wanted to easily. But it's not what this video is for. But I was definitely always pro crypto, right? What ended up happening is this whole space kind of got flooded. And you're getting kids that don't even have any market experience, and they're hearing someone say buy crypto on their Instagram reels, so then they're downloading Robinhood or something and they're buying crypto. And what it essentially does is just floods the market. There's no one else to buy. When you get down to that level to where kids that have no market experience and they're like, oh, crypto is cool, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm so cool, I'm gonna buy some crypto, and obviously they're going to lose all their money, right? When that starts happening, that's when people like me start getting out of the market, because you realize there's no one left in the food chain. Realistically, you get to the very bottom, and when these people start buying, that's when you know to sell, right? And of course, I have a little bit start to realize that's kind of what's happening in the last month or two. Realize, okay, they for sure definitely bought the top. Banks and institutions are starting to kind of get out of their positions. A lot of focus is going on AI, so I decided to get out of crypto. Thankfully, I got in at the bottom. I wouldn't say like luck or anything, because I put in the work to study these markets and to execute on the bottom. But yeah, I got out, and everyone's still screaming that we're going to get a bull run. It's not going to happen until we put in the bear market low first. And I'm structuring everything into AI coming into 2026. So you might be asking, like, okay, why invest into AI rather than crypto, right? Well, just like the internet, like 10 years ago, right? When the internet just came up in about, it was like 10 years of just nonstop innovation, nonstop government funding, nonstop contracts just being put into it so it could advance, right? And essentially you just had 10 years of just nonstop innovation. And it took a couple years for people to really even catch on to that. And then at that time, it was kind of too late. And then when you have a major market crash and these stocks come down with it, people get burnt, and then they scream, stock market's a scam, pretty much. That's just pretty much what happens all the time. Well, this AI stuff has been advancing, and it's been here not long at all. I remember ChatGPT came out like a year or two ago, and obviously, like, I'd use it to cheat on all my like work for high school and stuff like that, and people be like, oh, you know, this stuff isn't going to be around forever. Obviously it's going to be around forever. Like, are you retarded? Like, this stuff's going to change the world 100%. And if you're not on the side of AI, then you're going to get absolutely wrecked. If you're not using it for your advantage, you're going to get absolutely wrecked. I used to use it to cheat on all my schoolwork so I could focus on my craft, right? And obviously that's a smart way to do it. If you're not doing that, you're just going to get absolutely I'm just going to run laps around you, pretty much. Because if you're not using it for your advantage, then you're going to get absolutely cooked. So obviously I use it for multiple things I do, but I'm also investing into it because I know it's going to be the future, right? So for me, that's pretty much where I'm putting all of my money for 2026 and obviously the years to come. All right, and then the second thing is actually going to tie into like a few things. So this is another thing I'm changing going into 2026, and it's probably the biggest thing. This is going to tie into my next point about backtesting the strategy. I trade LSD model, right? And this LSD model, if these boys are watching in the Discord, they fucking know how crazy it is, right? It's the only model that like makes perfect sense. And again, in my backtesting that I'll go over in my next like section I'm going to talk about, is I found that a lot of these people that made the strategy was in the UK, right? And they found it in a time that works best for them. And the problem is the time that works best for them, for me in the United States, it's 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. And again, I didn't just take their word for it. I put my own time in, I back tested, and I did find at 3 a.m. it's literally the best possible market conditions. So for me personally, I'm always a big believer in like, I'll try to get not the least amount of sleep as possible, but I won't oversleep, right? I will not oversleep. I only try and get I won't let myself sleep over 7 hours during the week, right? The weekends I'll try to catch up on sleep, but I'll try to only get 7 hours during the week. My current sleep schedule is 10:30 to 5:30, and switching for 2026, I'm going to bed at 8 p.m., waking up at 3 a.m., and that's going to be the entire during the week. Yes, it's going to suck for sure, but at the same time, I don't see any competition around me. No one's putting in the fucking work that I am. And it's 100% worth it when you look at the data. It's just definitely worth it, right? And I'm just gonna have to thug it out for a year. It is what it is, and eventually get to a point where, hey, at the end of this year, when I have profits, I can look into moving somewhere that's more time zone friendly, I should say, right? I don't have to be waking up at 3 a.m. or something. But I'm gonna cross that bridge when I come to it. But that's pretty much the next thing is yeah, like the changes that I'm making in my own like personal life is pretty crazy. I mean, right now I'm already putting in, at least while on this backtesting stuff, I've been putting in probably 10-12 hours a day at least. But yeah, like once all this backtesting session stuff is done and all that, the actual time you spend on trading, it shouldn't be too much, right? You should just be setting your alerts, looking for positions, and executing when the positions come. But as of right now, I'm grinding for sure, 100%. So yeah, that is literally the lifestyle change that's coming into 2026, as well as the LSD model that I actually backed and realized, like, obviously, if I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 in the morning, which is still pretty early, it's just I'm not gonna get anywhere near the profits that I normally would waking up at 3 a.m. And it really just comes down to how bad you want it realistically. Can I go to bed at 8 p.m.? Yes, I can, right? I don't have a job, obviously I'm self-employed, I own a business, and I can pretty much work when I want and structure everything around that time frame, right? So for me, that's what I'm doing going into 2026. Okay, so going on to the next one, I'm gonna block out some of the stuff on the screen here just because I can't leak too much of this, but it's pretty much backtesting. This is pretty much a massive core reasoning behind this video as well, is the backtesting that I'm putting in for 2026 will truly be able to change how we look at LSD, how we look at profit targeting, how we look at the best times of the day to trade, how we look at how old a zone should be that we're taking demand from, all of this, right? You guys can see down here, I'm doing the pairs we trade in the 30-minute time frame. We trade 2 time frames, the 30-minute and the 5-minute. Multiple years of each pair, every single year. And I'll click on another one. I don't want to leak too much, but I'll just click on this one, for example. And I'm going to block some of this out, but you guys can see, if I keep this P&L up, I won't block this P&L, but and this is just on one time frame, on one pair, on 1 year, right? All of these trades, and then I'm doing the 5-minute as well, which again, I'm gonna block some of these out, but this is insane, right? The 5-minute produces probably, on average, I'd say 4 or 5 trades a month. Obviously, the screen, this line is showing each separate month. Obviously right in here it's looking like we have probably 8 or so trades each month, but on average I'd say it's about 5. And I'm doing every single year, I'm doing every single pair, or not every single year, I'm doing every single pair for 2 years. And I'm tracking everything you can possibly imagine. I'm making graphs using Gemini. I'm using Google's AI powered Gemini, and pretty much finding where exactly we should be targeting, what positions work better on certain pairs, like literally everything. Because for example, right here, NAS 100 is a bullish index. We always used to take long positions on it, right? I started tracking short positions, and I was like, okay, I wonder if short positions perform just well. Short positions literally have a higher win rate, and we yielded pretty much the same amount of return on them as we did in long positions, which is insane, right? And no one tests these things. So this is why I'm here. I'm testing all of this stuff. And that's just one thing out of 100 that I want to find, right? 30-minute time frame, I want to backtest 10 years. I want to go back to the 90s and see the stuff still working, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the most important thing that I'm doing day to day. I mean, I'm probably putting in 8 to 10 hours at least a day on this stuff, and I'm just grinding as much as I can. So we're going into 2026 literally knowing exactly how and what to execute. Yeah, going in after that, I'm gonna pretty much, the next section will be talking about my funded accounts. So the next thing that I'm setting up for 2026 is obviously funded accounts, right? I have a 200K with FTMO. That shit costs like $1,400, bro. But I'm still rolling with that, and then I'm gonna get a couple fresh 100Ks, pretty much just loaded up, ready to go in January. I'm a little bit in drawdown, like the 200K, which is expected because Q4 just cooked everyone. Q4's volume is just horrible. So 2026 January, getting a few fresh 100Ks, and yeah, pretty much not putting a timeline on that to pass, but just to be clear from my back testing, which is again why I do that, is Q1 generally performs very, very well, especially February. Specifically, February eats every single pair. I don't know why, but yeah. And then I think his name's like J4X or something. If you're watching this video, bro, shout out to you, bro. Literally started making me rethink the whole risk thing. So for Forex or for fundeds, I'm gonna be risking strict 1%. Before I used to risk 0.5%, and it starts to make you think, right? If you lose 2 or 3 trades off the bat, cool, you're only down, 1.5%, right? And you're probably thinking like, oh, I'm only down 1.5%, right? But then when you hit a 1 to 3, you don't really crawl out of that hole much. You're back at break even. And then if you lose another trade, you're down 0.5%. And then you win a trade for 1 to 2, you're up 0.5%. You're just staying around that break even phase for a while. And it really did. I originally started thinking like this, and then everyone was just risking 0.5%. And again, I listened to everyone, right? And now I'm starting to open my eyes and realize, okay, maybe that isn't the best thing to do, right? And risking 1%, cool, yeah, you might have a little bit more risk blowing an account, but at the end of the day, there's kids my age that are spending 70 or 80 grand on college, which is an absolute scam, and people scared to lose a couple grand on a funded account that quite literally, with they're learning a skill set that has no limit pretty much on how much money you can make, right? And so that's kind of the risk obviously I'm willing to take, right? I'll drop money on education, on fundeds anytime, right? That stuff actually worth buying. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be risking 1%. Hopefully it speeds up the process just a little bit. I'm still going to be taking, A plus setups. I'm not going to be taking anything questionable, of course. But yeah, as far as the funded account goes, that's pretty much what I'm going to be structured as. I'm backtesting everything I possibly can right now, finding where our edge works absolutely perfect, what to be targeting, all that stuff. Because at the end of the day, there's only a couple people in this LSD area, and not enough people have a lot of backtesting to show. And I think hopefully I'm one of those people that can backtest years on end. And of course, I'm not going to release everything for free, but even to give some of the boys in the Discord like some insight, be like, yo, like check this out. Like, we're not even taught half this shit. I mean, like, fucking Nas literally is always long positions, and short positions literally performed just as good, which is like insane. So that's one thing that I'm like, just stuff like that just gonna make a massive difference at the end of the day, realistically. And yeah, just hopefully I'm one of those people that can help these boys out. We're all just trying to make it at the end of the day. Everyone in this Discord, bro. Like, LSD is gonna go crazy. I'm telling you, like, you look back on this video in 5 years, LSD model is gonna grow insanely. There's 3 people in the space right now. 3 people in the space. That's half decently big, and they only have 14,000 subscribers, which obviously I'm not the one to say anything, but that's not big. You compare some of these things to literal ICT himself or TJR Trades. Everyone fantasizes about TJR Trades. It's absolutely nothing. I truly think this LSD model is going to take over everything, and that's why I'm putting in as much effort as I possibly can. So in a couple years, we can look back and I can be like, damn, like, I really put in that work. I'm one of those core people that I actually got the data behind everything. The data behind why we're targeting certain places, why we're trading certain pairs, why we're trading at certain times, all of that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Okay, and then the next thing is really just everything I talked about. I'm gonna track pretty much all of it on YouTube and Discord. That's really all of it, right? At the end of the day, like, we live in a area, society, I guess you could say, that everything needs to be online, realistically, right? If I were to, in 2 years, make a YouTube video saying, oh, I'm a funded trader, join my Discord and pay however much a month and I'll teach you, right? And you go on my channel and you see that there's nothing. You're like, okay, where's this guy legit? You know what I mean? Like obviously me, I'm like, dude, who is this guy? Like, no. When you have me saying that 2 years down the line, or even a year down the line, and you look back and you're like, damn, this dude's been posting videos for a year and a half, 2 years. He's been posting his losses. He's been posting what he did wrong. He's been posting how he's getting better. He's been posting like his backtesting videos. I know he's legit. I see his Discord. I see he has backtest results posted. I see all this stuff. Obviously it's gonna make me legit. Like, obviously I know in my own like heart that I'm legit, right? But I just have to make it all public, or else it's not gonna do any good, right? And that's a lot of things that people don't realize. I think people is starting to realize, dude. There's people like in my Discord that, they are putting in the work, but if you're not putting it public, I should say, like, and I don't mean everything public. Obviously, like, I'm keeping my backtest results and stuff like that private, but I'm saying, if you're showing that you're actually dedicated and you are putting in the work, then years down the line, it is going to be worth something, right? If, again, a year down the line, you're funded and you're like, I want to teach people, you don't have anything to look back on to show people that you're legit unless you have a social media account. And that's really the only reason I'm doing this now. And I'm having a Discord that I'm sharing with some of the boys that I trade with, like, some stuff I find, right? Obviously, you can't drop everything, you know. Obviously, there's limitations to stuff, you know. I put in 10 hours a day at least on this back testing stuff. I'm not gonna drop every single trade that I've took, what time they are, like everything, right? You know, like at the same time, some of that stuff has to be private, or at least hold on to it until it's a paid mentorship or something like that. But obviously, I'm gonna help these guys out. Like, we're all helping each other, right? So obviously, I'm gonna post stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much mostly my last point. Is everything that I'm doing now, I'm structuring everything so it's ready to just to be documented into 2026. Literally everything documented in 2026. Yeah, like I said, I started with just weekly recaps, posting some backtesting videos, and for 2026, I'm very, very excited. I'm gonna keep posting some backtesting videos, but I'm gonna be posting weekly results, stuff like that. You're gonna see the video of me passing a funded account, 100%. It's not happening. It's gonna happen for sure. So yeah, that's just my last point there. Is pretty much tracking everything online, because if you don't use social media nowadays, it's kind of worthless. I mean, even my mentor, for example, I look back, he has videos posted 2 years ago of him literally scrolling, taking the most obnoxious, horrible trades I could ever even imagine. And to where he is now, you know that he's been through it. You know that this guy's legit, and I'm willing to learn from him, right? And I think that's a big part you need if you're not tracking your whole process on social media, at least, or on YouTube at least. I mean, it's going to be pretty much worthless. And that's pretty much the last thing I was going to talk about, was the whole social media thing. I mean, yeah, that's really it. I mean, I just wanted to pretty much make this video as like a benchmark, as a checkpoint I can go back and look on, at least for my personal, and to also like share what I'm doing for 2026. I mean, dude, the LSD model, I'm telling you, like, these boys in this, if you guys are watching this video and you're in the Discord, and I know there's a lot of you, bro, like, we're literally gonna fucking cook. Like, the LSD model, there's nothing like it. There's truly nothing like the LSD model. And I truly think if we're, like, all of us are putting in an insane amount of effort finding everything. I mean, we have, like, shout out to Sky. Sky's been making graphs and stuff like that, just on, like, the best trading days, on our our mentors' results, and like tracking everything, like showing what days are working the best. So then I took that into consideration. I was like, bet, like, you know, that's live results. Like, let me see what we can get across multiple years. You know, maybe we can put something together, you know, revise the strategy. You know, he created, you know, indicators to help us out, like, not actual indicators, but like RTP rules. He created this indicator that it's just up on the trading view little corner that you can see, like, hey, if your stop loss is 5 pips, you should be targeting a 1 to 2 or something like that, right? Stuff like that, because we're all trading together. We're all trading really with the same rules. We're just helping each other out, right? And I wouldn't even say I hope, because I know it's going to happen. We're all going to be passing fundeds in 2026. We're all going to be preaching pretty much this LSD model. I know this LSD model is going to blow up big, especially for the people under us. I mean, I'm young myself, but I know there's 20-year-olds that are still just getting into trading, right? That's still young. But I know there's a whole generation under me that are, you know, they're 13, 14 years old right now. When I'm in my mid-20s and they come my age, like, genuinely, this whole trading thing is, I wouldn't say it's easy. Oh my God, it's not easy, but it's easier to get in than ever before, right? Like, anyone can pick up a phone and download MetaTrader and buy a funded account, just start trading. Anyone can. You know, it's not like before you had to invest your own money and slowly put in money and slowly build it up. You know, it's easier. The barrier to entry, that's the word I'm looking for. The barrier to entry is a lot lower than ever before, but that does not mean it's hard. Trading is literally the hardest thing in the world. 99% of people fail, and that's a true statistic, right? But I just know these guys in this Discord, bro, we're absolutely gonna eat. So I'm pretty much just gonna end that video on that. I just want to show you guys pretty much what I'm working on for 2026. I'm obviously gonna nonstop be putting out content. I'm just gonna keep recording live backtest stuff that I found out during backtest. I'm obviously gonna do weekly recaps once January comes. Right now we're not trading. Right now, literally, I've been putting in 10, 12-hour days, just nonstop working. structuring like my Discord as well. I just kind of created it for people. I'm just gonna keep loading up insights that I find to people to help everyone out here. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to help everyone out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to, like I said, show what I'm working on for 2026. I can't even explain to you how excited we are. But yeah, LSD model on top, 100%, bro. These boys are gonna eat, bro. But yeah, that's it. So I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.